Have you ever been in a situation where you purchased the most amazing counter stools just to find out you accidentally bought bar stools instead? We moved into our home last summer and we're so excited to have a counter that jetted out to create a counter bar area. My husband found the most amazing deal on these 3 used stools that were in such great condition. I think he paid under $100 for the whole set. Unfortunately, we didn't realize until we brought them inside that they were way too tall to be functional in our home. We had purchased bar stools when what we really needed were counter height stools. My husband thinks I need my dad's help for this project, but I think I can prove him wrong. I have a number of tools in storage that I haven't yet been able to sort through and organize, but I do have a handsaw I'll try using, even though I know it's not the most efficient tool for the job. To figure out the amount I need to remove from the legs, I stacked a bunch of heavy books on a regular dining room chair. I removed one book at a time until I felt comfortable with the distance between the bottom of the countertop and the top of my legs. I took into consideration the use of the stools for relaxing and for eating at the counter. Then, I measured the distance between the top of the bar stool seat and the top of the stack of books. It's about 4 inches that I need to take off the bottom of the stool legs. That would put the height of our stools at about 27 inches. And since I found out the standard counter stool seat height is about 24 to 27 inches, I'm happy with cutting the stools down to about 27 inches because it will give us some wiggle room if I screw up. We'll need a pencil, handsaw, level, sandpaper, flathead screwdriver, hammer, and a tape measure. First, I remove the feet from the bottom of the stools. I want to keep these so I can reuse them when I'm done shortening the legs. As you can see, I figured a square would make it easier to make sure my cuts are level to the ground, since I don't know if I can trust this super old level. So I measure up about 4 inches from the bottom of the front legs and make a mark with my pencil. The back 2 legs are a little trickier because they're placed at more of an angle, so I want to make sure I'm measuring the 2 sides of the legs that are most perpendicular to the ground so I don't mismeasure. Then I use my level so I can complete the mark around the back legs. That should be pretty level to the ground. That way I can be more accurate while I'm in the middle of sawing. I don't have a sawhorse or workbench, so I use towels to protect the stools from damage while I'm working.
We interrupt this video to bring you Where's Rocco?
And I realize sawing in the house probably isn't a great idea, so I set up out back instead and do a last check of my measurements. Like they say, measure twice, cut once. I start by just scoring the surface of the wood, so when I really start going for it, the saw won't slip as easily and mess up the part of the leg I want to keep. I get this idea to score the other sides of the leg too, so hopefully it helps me keep the saw straight as I cut. The sewing just goes on for way too long, and I'm not even a quarter of the way through the leg yet. So I say, forget this, and I find the jigsaw. There are 4 different types of jigsaw blades in this pack for cutting wood. This one is for detail work, which I'm not doing today. This one's for reverse cut, and I don't know what that's used for yet, but I don't need it right now. The last 2 are for cutting wood fast and clean, and I want to cut it clean because I'm doing furniture.
Pro tip, pro tip, pro tip.
Instead of plugging something directly into an extension cord, which can easily come undone, start with a basic overhand knot to keep the cables secure. And here we go. And here we go. And here we go. I check my work to make sure the blade is going through as planned. Not the most perfect cut, but it goes through so much faster, like butter. I liked that I had a guideline already for the first cut, so I scored the next leg by hand first as well. I need to check the balance of the stool before adding the feet back to the legs, but I do sand the bottoms of the legs to make the edges less sharp, spending more time on the two longer legs to make them all balanced. Last, we hammer the feet back onto the bottom of the legs. Here you can really see the difference between the two stool heights. More space.
This is so much better.
I'm confident now, so I finished the remaining two stools off camera, and here's the reveal. I recently made a video about fixing my vinyl window. I'll link to that video below, but here's the update you've all been waiting for. So one of my last videos was about my vinyl window that was stuck, and spoiler alert, make sure you go watch that video, link is below just in case, because I don't want to spoil it for you. Sorry about all the light back there, it's hard to see, but this piece right here with the screws was slipping, or had slipped, and soon after I put it back in place, screwed it back in, all nice and tight, it slipped again. So I used some of that awesome mounting putty like we talked about before, and I stuck some just underneath the bottom of the bracket itself. Oh look, now you can see it better. But you can kind of see where I have the putty in there, and it doesn't look the best. I'm gonna get a newer piece at some point, but I just wanted to make sure it works. It's been working for over a month now, and I think it looks great. Now let's go fix something else. Please give a thumbs up to this video if you liked it. I have 8 subscribers now. Can you help me get to 10? Thanks so much and see you soon.